The 70s brought a bunch of famous Speedway riders to the scene, and one of the guys was Dangerous Dúbb Ferrell. Now, I was on the sort of the similar team with him, with Fairchild, but Dúbb was way above me, and Dúbb just started off as a kind of a wild rider. He was dangerous when he was young, let's say second division, and people were scared because he was fast, he was good, and he was aggressive. And that's why they called him Dangerous Dúbb Ferrell. However, as Dúbb Ferrell got older and more developed in his Speedway career, more better, he was not dangerous no more, he was fast. But he kept the same name, Dangerous, for whatever reason that was. But Dangerous Dúbb was not dangerous, he was good. And around 74, 75, I think 75, he placed second place in the United States Speedway Nationals at the Los Angeles Coliseum next to Mike Bast. Third place was a reserved rider, Steve Nutter. That's a miracle, right? To be a reserved rider and then be on the podium that night. That's unbelievable. Hats off to Steve Nutter. But back to Dúbb, he was just an incredible rider. And after he got second place in that Nationals, I asked Dúbb, like at Ken Maley's, could you please teach me how to ride a Speedway bike? Because I was fresh on a bike and I didn't really know how to ride. Ken Maley told me, you know, Brian, you need lessons. You need to learn how to ride the Speedway bike. And I said, you know, Ken, I do need to learn. And I just didn't have much seat time. So Ken called Dangerous Dúbb, and Dangerous Dúbb came to Maley's, and Dangerous Dúbb said, for like $300, I'll go ahead and teach you for a Saturday and Sunday. So I said, all right. So I paid him the money. And the first thing Dúbb did is took my 22-inch rear tire off. I don't know what that was at the time. And we put a 19-inch tire on the bike. And then Dúbb saw that I was sitting on the seat too much. He removed my seat and he said, now, Brian, ride Speedway without the seat. So I rode Speedway without the seat, and I learned to slide, and I learned a lot of great principles from Dangerous Dúbb, and he was just an incredible teacher, and he knows a lot about Speedway, and he was a total pro, number 2 in America at the time. And Dúbb just continued to ride hard, and Jerry Fairchild always said that Dúbb Ferrell was his hard charger, and he was a hard charger. And Jerry Fairchild said that I was his young lion, and Dúbb Ferrell was his hard charger. And he was definitely right. You know, Dúbb raced against all the best riders, and he was a hot rider, and he was really fast, controlled. He was not dangerous anymore as he got developed in Speedway. But Dúbb raced for a number of years, and I ended up kind of retiring, quitting when Jerry Fairchild got out of Speedway. He got disillusioned because of the SRA cutting, and he got really mad because he was the president of the SRA, Jerry Fairchild. And Fairchild was a very famous mechanic, and he had lots of Speedway bikes, and he knew how to make an engine go fast. He made my bike go incredibly fast. I had a JAP, and Jerry Fairchild, he liked me probably because I had the JAP, and I'm a nice guy too. But Jerry liked the JAPs, and he said, Brian, I want you to go beat those Jawas with the JAP. And I had some success. I beat some of the top riders at the time on the JAP, except I ended up kind of like stopped riding a little bit after that because Jerry quit, and I was disillusioned. I went to Jerry's house, and I said, Jerry, I can't ride without you, you know, because he's such a good tuner. He made my bike go so fast. And he said, no, I'm not going to get into Speedway no more. But Dangerous Dúbb, he continued in throughout the 80s, and he was just a hard charger the whole time. And he was one of the very top riders in American Speedway for many years, probably for like 15 years almost. And Dúbb just was great. And I don't know if Dúbb particularly loved me a lot because we both had the same tuner. And Dúbb was very much sponsored by Jerry. He was a high level, and I was kind of a straggler. You know, I always just hang out and stuff. But I learned a lot from Dúbb, and I learned a lot from Jerry Fairchild about Speedway and racing. And they were just incredible people, incredible rider Dúbb was. And Dúbb ended up retiring around mid-80s. And he was like a truck driver and lived in Los Angeles, Pasadena somewhere. And he still comes out to a lot of the function. He was at Digger Helm's funeral in Bakersfield. And he still hangs out at the Speedway races sometimes. And he's kind of enjoys Speedway because he was one of the top riders in the 70s. Into the 80s, Dúbb Ferrell was a hot rider. But he's just a gifted person. He's small. And that was really to his advantage to be fast, as he was very light. Because the heavier you are, you know, it's more slower, the Speedway bike. It's like racing a horse, you know, the heavier the jockeys are, you know, you go slower. And same with Speedway. And Dúbb was a little guy, and he was light. And Dúbb Ferrell was fast. But into the 70s, Dúbb Ferrell he rose to number 2 as his highest ranking. He never won a U.S. championship, but he definitely could have won a championship. He was that good. But a lot of riders got second place in the Nationals and third place. So that's very high accomplishment. And these are highly successful Speedway riders. Out of the top 16, you get 1, 2, or 3. You're a good rider if you do that. But Dúbb Ferrell just continued his legacy, like I said, and he was just a gifted person, a gifted rider. And he's a quiet guy. He's not really a noisy person. He's kind of quiet. And Dúbb Ferrell just is a good person. And he's still hanging out today somewhere. I wanted Dúbb to do a Speedway show with me, but he's not really into like the internet that much, I think. He doesn't have a lot of social media. But anyways, Dúbb Ferrell was one of the great United States Speedway riders in the revival. And we will always remember the gift and the talent that Dúbb Ferrell had on the racetrack. He was a pole rider primarily, and he rode that 19-inch tire that he taught me how to ride. And he was just a good rider. He was a captain, one of the captains of the Bakersfield Bandits, the 76 champions of the National Speedway League with Digger Helm and Bakersfield. And he just was a star rider. And that's one of the reasons why they won the league, because of Jeff Sexton and Dúbb Ferrell. They're both kind of co-captains of that team. But anyways, Dúbb Ferrell was an amazing rider, sensational person, and one of the legends of the revival of American Speedway.